somebody here and now they're gone?
Seems to be the theme, right?
Good morning, Your Honor.
So we moved your Petrocelli hearing because we were supposed to be in trial this week, and we're trying to get as much time as we could for the trial case. That case ended up going away, but I'm not prepared for the Petrocelli anyway. But we do need to deal with, I guess, the custody status, right?
Right, Your Honor, I asked that that matter still be kept on for this week, just based on the nature of the allegations. I do have a couple of witnesses today that could be presented to Your Honor. It's the child therapist, Donna Wilburn, and then the child's mother, Marquis, who witnessed the incident. I'm not exactly sure how the court wants to proceed with that, since it is.
It's going to take a little bit of time, right?
Hey, again, Your Honor, here's the thing. We, when the court tried to move this, we tried, because we had Officer Crundon from house arrest. The court may remember from the last hearing we were subpoenaing for this. We've always known that was going to be in person with testimony and his report. When we got the message, we held the subpoena. Then we found out that you still want to do it today. We did a special run. I informed your chambers yesterday that Officer Crundon is not available today and wanted to reset it at the time that he could be present. And basically, the trying to shimmy the date issue kind of created havoc. I received one thing from, besides the videos, I received one thing from Ms. Engler, which yesterday, which is, it's not even a report, it looks like Ms. Wilburn crafted something for this hearing in anticipation of litigation, basically. But we still don't have her reports. So I'm going to ask the court to move this to the Petrocelli hearing, so one, I can have my witness here. And two, so I can, she's basing this on, according to what she's disclosed, counseling session she did with London. In her own letter, it says it's tape. I want the tape. I don't want her letter. If she's going to testify to this on the stand, I have the right to hear it beforehand.
Well, and Judge, here's the issue. Let's put it in reverse. If the defendant was sitting in custody and she was filing a motion to reduce bail, and I was standing here at the state saying, Judge, I want to continue it, he'd be screaming, throwing his hands in the air, saying I was violating his client's liberty. We have a victim here that has been violated by the defendant, and now they're trying to continue it 30 or 45 days. This is an issue on a motion.
Next week.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The Petrocelli hearing was moved to January.
We push it
To
to
December 10th.
My understanding is the court moved it to January.
Well, today's December 10th.
yeah, for me for a minute, but I thought the Petrocelli was going to be like 2 weeks.
January 27th, yeah.
What about the 3rd? That was one of the dates they gave us. Can we just do it on the 3rd?
Judge, again, this is a violation of a no contact order. This is something that shouldn't be continued weeks and weeks and weeks because there is a serious safety concern.
Okay, first of all, Your Honor, just so we can put this in perspective, they're alleging, certainly we're not admitting to you, that my client violated the no contact order over apparently.
Did she?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Apparently.
How's the kid getting these things? How's the kid getting the tablets?
Oh, so no, my client has been anywhere near. The allegation is it was over a computer. There has never been an allegation from Ms. Engler that my client is having in-person contact with
Well, I
London.
don't know if she is.
She's
frankly.
saying that's why I need the house arrest offer. She's on EMP. Basically, my understanding of the allegation is her mother was on a computer with London, which I guess she's allowed to do.
No, she's not.
And
It's a violation of a no contact order for Julie or any of her family to have contact with London. It was set in the family court, and the defendant was on the phone as well.
okay, first of all, my client's mother is not subject to the family court. She's not a party. Okay, they can't issue her an order. And apparently, so just so the court knows essentially the factual situation, the allegation is my client allegedly spoke to London over Skype. There was no allegation of in-person contact, went anywhere near her. The computer that this child was using, she got from her family, from wherever. It's got nothing to do with my.
So is it your position that the family court order is a no in-person contact order, and
Well,
communication on the telephone or Skype is okay? That's your position?
No, I'm just saying that she's talking about danger to London. And I think the court.
She's talking about a violation of a court order.
Okay, well, no, but in terms of continuing the hearing or moving the hearing, she's talking about danger to London. I just want to make it clear to the court, there's never been an allegation my client has seen London in person, has gone over to the house. The allegation here seems to be that during a Skype conversation, my client was on it. That's all.
I think your client's smart enough to know that she's not supposed to go near the residence, so she's finding other ways to violate the order.
Okay.
Having phone contact, having Skype contact is nearly the same thing as being in person. You're seeing the person face to face. And that's why I have the child therapist here who will tell you that this is a problem. This is a mental health issue for this minor child.
So why don't we do this? Because you have witnesses here today, I don't want to keep inconveniencing people. So maybe we can put this at the end of the calendar. We can listen to your witnesses today, take testimony from them. We can continue it a week or whatever we need to do to get the testimony from the PO or whoever it is that you want to have here.
My only issue with that, Your Honor, is Ms. Wilburn is testifying per the letter that we received yesterday that was disclosed by the state. She wrote a letter about this incident. Apparently it's on tape. I won't listen to the tape before I cross-examine her.
Sorry. We'll get you the tape, but I'm not going to inconvenience her, have her come back another time. So
That's fine, Your Honor.
Thank you.
let's put it at the end of the calendar so we can at least hear the testimony from these people.
Okay, thank you.
The court, the prosecutors have to go to the hearing this one.
I'm hoping 10:30.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Recall page 21, State Court versus Jonathan
Kroger.
Kroger.
You want to make sure that she's put on house arrest?
As you know, the Supreme Court has
Okay, why don't you give me the statute? I'm not putting up with any of the crap here today.
Don't unpack. That's not what today's hearing's for.
The likely result of that is you will be remanded into custody.
Counsel, your appearances for the record.
The court has a few comments before we begin.
Recall page 30, State versus Julie Hammer, 338469. I understand the defense has somebody else that you want to call, you want me to consider as part of this, but I think we allow the state to call the people that they have here so that we aren't inconveniencing them again.
So just so we're clear, am I not going to have a chance to call Officer Cronin, or are we doing this in two separate fights?
We'll do it in two separate
Understood.
meetings. But, I mean, we need to do it quickly, so.
No, that's fine.
I continue until next week.
You know, and like I said, my only concern is she's about to testify, I know it's not evidence yet, but she's about to testify about a session that she had recently with London. Apparently, I don't know if this is notes or tapes, I think it's tapes, would I like to hear it? Yes, Your Honor. I mean, I can't really effectively cross her. All I have is she literally prepared for the hearing. I have no reports, I have nothing like that. It's just literally a letter detailing, you know, a small section of a session she had with London. And, you know, so basically I'm in a position of, okay, I've got this, I don't know what came before, I don't know what came after. I got this yesterday.
I haven't seen that.
No, I understand that, but this is basically what she's going to be testifying to in court, and I don't have, you know, what I need to effectively cross-examine her. If the court directs me to go forward, I certainly will. I'm just simply making that record. You know, I have no idea what some of this is about, and it's almost a transcript.
You're in a better position than I am. I have no idea what she's going to do.
No, I'm just, that's why I was asking to continue and have her provide me the tape of this particular session that she wants to talk about, so I can review it prior to cross-examination.
Are you going to produce the tape?
Yeah, so let me speak on a couple of things. I have a copy of your report for you. I did not provide it to you specifically because there was going to be witness testimony. I didn't want there to be improper evidence submitted to the court, but I have a copy here if the court wants to see it. Ms. Wilburn is a court-ordered therapist through the family court. You'll hear that through testimony, or I can just say it now. I mean, I don't know that it would necessarily be objected to, but she's been doing court-appointed therapy for 15 years. She takes the proceedings, but she doesn't provide reports unless the family court requests that a report be prepared. So the defense has been asking for reports, but she doesn't have reports, she just has recordings of her sessions. The state's concerned with turning over the recordings because obviously this is a confidentiality issue between the minor child and her therapist. There's trust issues. There's a lot more that was discussed during that recording. I haven't seen it. I haven't requested it. What I asked of Ms. Wilburn was specifically regarding this no contact violation, if she could prepare something based on the defense's request to have something based on this particular incident. Could she put something together, and that's what she did. So yes, it's a letter. She took a snippet of the recording and transcribed the specific dialogue between her and London regarding the no contact issue. So that's essentially what this is. There isn't going to be a lengthy report. I would object to turning over the video or the audio because of the relationship that Ms. Wilburn has with London and not wanting to violate that, and the potential that a session that she's had could be listened to by the defendant. So that's the state's concern on that issue.
Generally what happens with those CPS audio or video recordings is I review them in camera and determine what portion, if any, I'm going to disclose.
Okay, and I don't think that Ms. Wilburn would have objected to that, neither would the state.
And I don't have a problem with that, Your Honor, but again, I would still need the court to essentially do that before I could effectively, I mean, because this is probably less than 30 to 60 seconds of the session that's done by transcript. I have no idea what came before that's relevant, I have no idea what came after that's relevant. And,
Ask her.
Oh, but I'd just be winging it, Judge. I mean, without hearing the session, I have no idea what to ask. And like I said, Your Honor, if the court wants me to do this, I will obviously happily comply. I'm just simply making a record of the fact that I can't effectively cross-examine her without, I mean, she almost raised just that. I need to see the session, or at least what the court.
I don't know that I'm ever going to disclose that to you, though. So
okay, well,
I think you have what you have.
And if that's the court's ruling, then I will proceed on that basis. But, you know, it's just simply, I have no idea what this witness is going to say, except for, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 lines. Each of them are single. So,
Okay. Let's see what she says. Who do you want to call first?
Judge, the state's gonna call Mary Rasmussen. Judge, I do have the video on my phone. For tech issues and having to set it all up, I mean, I can, the specific ring video that I referenced in my motion that Miss Rasmussen is seen on tape, I can play that for the court, or they can watch it on my phone if there's any issues. I know the defense is seen it. Do you want her to sit up there?
Yeah, let's come up here, Ms. Rasmussen. You have to step up on the witness stand. Once you get there, please remain standing, raise your right hand, and be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state and spell your name for the record.
Mary Johanna Rasmussen, a.k.a. Murphy, M-A-R-Y-R-A-S-M-U-S-S-E-N, middle name Johanna, J-O-H-A-N-N-A, nickname Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y.
Go ahead and be seated. Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you. Do you mind if I call you Murphy?
No.
Murphy, do you have a daughter?
Yes.
What's her name?
Woman.
And who do you share parenting responsibilities with?
Currently, Julie Michelle Hanna.
Okay. And do you see her in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you point to her and identify something she's wearing?
She's got long hair and a black suit on.
Will the court reflect that?
no objection. I figured the long hair probably resulted in.
I know you got long hair too. How long have you known the defendant?
Since the summer of 2000.
Okay. And what type of relationship do the two of you have?
Lover, girlfriend.
So are you, would it be fair to say that you've, over the last 20 years, you're familiar with her voice?
Absolutely.
And you've heard her voice on the telephone numerous times over the years? And would you also have heard her in person?
Yes.
Okay. Directing you to November 9th of 2019, were you working that day?
Yes.
And what time did you get off your shift?
9 o'clock. Sorry, a few minutes after 8.
Okay. Is that your normal time?
I got off early that night.
And what time did you arrive home?
About 8:55-ish.
Okay. And when you, where do you usually walk into your house?
I walk in through my courtyard and then my front door.
Do you have any electronic devices on the outside of your house?
Yes.
And what are those?
I have a ring device and cameras.
Okay. And what does the ring device do?
As soon as I walk into before I walk into the courtyard, I have lights that go on, motion detector lights. And then when I walk in close to my door, I get a notification on my phone, and it makes a noise.
Okay. And did, on November 9th, did that ring video pick you up coming to your front door?
Yes.
When you approached your front door, did you hear anything while you were standing at the front door?
Yeah, I heard some off in the distance voices inside my condo.
Was the window open?
No.
Okay. But it was loud enough, the voices were loud enough that you could hear?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe to the court what you were able to hear and observe while you were standing at your front door?
Well, I heard my daughter talking, and I heard them talking about connecting a call, and it sounded like a friend of ours. So I sat down in my courtyard, and I mentioned text message. And then I heard them saying, hey, okay, we're trying to get a connection, we're trying to connect, and I was gonna surprise my daughter by taking her to the movies, so I put my phone on silent. And as I heard them saying we're about to connect, I was waiting for my phone to connect, and then it wasn't connecting to me, and another voice came on, and it was Julie's mother. And that's when I got up and went to my window and saw the split screen talking on the computer.
So what was, so London was on what type of device?
Laptop.
And you were physically able to see the faces that were on the laptop computer?
Yes.
And whose faces did you see?
On the left-hand side, I saw Julie's, and on the right-hand side, I saw Penny Hammer.
And over the course of your relationship with the defendant, did you also come in contact with her mother?
Yes.
And you're familiar with her appearance?
Yes.
And the sound of her voice?
Absolutely.
And so on November 9th of 2019, you saw London speaking with both Penny Hammer, is that correct?
Correct.
And the defendant?
Yes.
After that incident, did you contact anybody?
Yes.
And who did you contact regarding the incident?
I called one of my attorneys, Sabrina Dolson, and I reached out to the guardian ad litem, Laura Deary.
Okay. Anybody else did you communicate with?
I called 311.
And you filed a report?
Yes.
Okay.
But just to let you know, going back, you could see London showing off her pictures of her drawings, and then.
Well, did you save the video or the ring video?
Yes.
Okay. And did you provide that to me in response to my request?
I provided the ring video, and I provided the video that I was attempting to take at my window.
Okay. Judge, I know it's a little unconventional, but can I approach to show her the video? It has her face on it, so she should.
Is this something that this defense has been able to see?
I have provided that to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's fine.
Now, do you recognize this video?
Yes.
And who is this in the image?
Myself.
Okay. And this is a video that's from your ring doorbell?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, do you mind if I play it? Do you want me to play it?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to see it specifically?
What's it gonna show me?
Nothing other than what you haven't heard. So who were the voices that you heard on the video recording?
It's Julie at first, and then connecting with Grandma, and then London was showing them her pictures of her yearbook drawings that she's learning from college.
Now, after this incident, did you locate, or was there anything else that caused you to be concerned about any electronic devices or any type of contact?
London surrendered the laptop that she was talking to the parties on, and then the next day while I was at work, I received a message saying another device had been activated through the house.
Who was present at the house at the time?
London.
When you got home from work, were you able to locate that device?
Yes.
And what was that device?
It was a Samsung Galaxy tablet.
Did you provide her that tablet?
No.
Do you know where the tablet came from?
No.
But the day after you took her computer, she was then in possession of a tablet.
Repeat that, please.
after you had taken possession of her computer after this incident, she was then found in possession of another electronic device or tablet.
Yes.
Does London have any financial ability to purchase any electronic devices, like tablets or computers?
No.
And how old is she?
13 and a half.
I have nothing further for this.
Ross? Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, you testified that London's your daughter, correct?
Yes.
In fact, she's not, isn't that correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, it has to go with her, due to her credibility, Your Honor. She's here telling you this child's your daughter. No, she's not.
Well, Judge, she is your daughter by court order through the family court, and that is something that they can raise at the time of trial, but it's not relevant to this particular proceeding because at this current time, she has been given parentage through the family court.
But that's on you. She is not, but you are not London's mother, correct?
I'm not her biological mother, but as of December 20th, 2012, I was seen as the father regardless of gender. Now, I know there's another person involved, but I am a parent equally to London.
And you tried to have your name added to her birth certificate because of that, correct?
Judge, objection, not relevant.
I didn't try to add it. Julie Hammer wrote it on the paperwork
Mary.
at the hospital.
Let the judge rule on the objection,
So,
please.
I don't know where this is going. I mean, it has nothing to do with whether there's a violation of court order, right?
No, just in terms of her credibility and what she's saying here, Your Honor, because in terms of the audio, all I heard was grandma, and we've listened to it multiple times. But let me just ask you this, ma'am. You have been engaged since that point where the family court case that you were referencing in essentially ongoing litigation with Ms. Hammer over it?
Judge, objection. None of this goes to whether or not the defendant violated the no contact order.
Yes, it does, because the court's going to need to rely on her credibility for statements like, I heard Julie Hammer's voice, even though it's not on the tape.
Okay.
It is on the tape.
It is on the tape, and that's your, you
All
can,
right.
you
So
can
I'm
disagree with
gonna
that.
I'm gonna let him ask you a couple of questions as it relates to credibility and veracity, that's fine, but, I mean, we're not relitigating the family court.
No, I don't intend to, Your Honor. My follow-up question with that is, you do not have a good relationship with Ms. Hammer, is that accurate?
It's the same as yours right now.
I'm sorry?
It's the same as yours right now.
Same as mine?
Your relationship with Julie Hammer is rather tumultuous.
Okay, ma'am, my question to you is, first of all, I'd ask the court to strike that as it's not responsive to my question.
It was responsive, that's
Okay.
not the answer you were looking
Okay.
for.
I'm asking, do you have a good relationship with Ms. Hammer?
I don't have any type of relationship with Hammer currently.
Fair to say that you dislike her?
I don't dislike her.
Really?
I feel sad for her.
Okay. Now, ma'am, you testified that you were trying to video this through a closed window?
No, my blames are open with it.
Okay, is that the second video you provided the state?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the one where basically you're just looking at the blinds?
If you look at it carefully, you'll be able to see a split screen at times. But you still hear definite voices.
Okay, so. Just do a first witness?
Sure.
First of all, it's the Is this the video that you're referencing, ma'am, that you sent to the state?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna play it for you. Can you show us where you see the split screen? Just tell me when to stop.
Judge, do you mind if I actually watch that?
Come on.
Sure. Split screen, right? Good. Because I turned down the volume.
Well, if you turn up the volume, you'll hear me and you'll also hear them. screen, and Julie is on the phone. And her grandmother is on the other side of the screen. It's 9:04 on a Friday night.
I think it's here.
You can,
Are you saying there's something? You want me to go back?
no, but you can hear the voices if you go back.
Is
So-
it, did you see the split screen on the video?
So I could see the split
But,
screen.
ma'am, I'm asking you, on the video, did you see the split screen?
There are moments where you can almost see the screen if you could blow it up, not.
So is that a
not
no?
completely.
If there's no view of the split screen on the video, is that a no?
It's not enough.
So, are you saying that you saw the split screen of this video?
You can see a minute part of it. Plus
Okay.
you can hear their voices if you
But
start.
that's not my question, ma'am. I asked, can you see the split screen? Yes or no?
I can see part of it.
All right. So basically, ma'am, you're saying that you can see the split screen despite the fact that it's not on the video. You're saying that that's Miss Hammer's voice despite the fact that she's talking to her grandmother. You have been, when did the litigation between you and Miss Hammer commence? What year?
2012.
Okay, and it has been ongoing since that date, correct? So, person diligence. Oh. Now, you indicated that after this incident happened, you secured the laptop, or took the laptop away, or whatever you did?
My daughter surrendered that to me.
Okay, I'm just asking, she no longer had it, correct? She no longer had access to it after that day?
Correct.
Now, do you have other electronics in your home?
Yes.
Okay, is this possible that the Android tablet is one of them?
No.
Okay. But do you still have the tablet?
Yes.
And so the serial number can be provided?
Yes.
Now, as house arrest knows that Ms. Hammer isn't allowed near your residence, have you ever heard from house arrest?
No.
Do you have any witnesses, videos, anything showing Ms. Hammer in or around your residence since the date of this court's order?
I have testimony from someone trying to pick up or go through the back window to get London.
Is that a no?
Repeat
I
the
think
question.
Judge, I think that was responsive. He asked if she has any videos or witnesses. She's saying she has a witness of somebody trying to go through the back window to get London.
No, I asked her, do you have any witnesses, videos, or evidence showing Ms. Hammer proximate to your residence? That's what I asked.
I have a witness, but we're not sure who it was that was attempting to pick up London.
Okay, so again, that is a no. You have no such evidence?
Have evidence, don't know who it was though.
So basically, other than those two videos that we saw or and listened to, all this court has is your testimony. Ma'am, what was the date that this alleged incident with the split screen took place?
November 9th.
November 9th? And you filed a police report the same day?
No, I believe I waited a few days.
Did you call 311 the same day?
Yes.
So other than those two videos and, in your opinion, hearing London, speaking with my client. Do you have any other evidence that she communicated with London?
Not on the same date, in August.
We're talking about this particular incident, okay?
Well, that's not the
The
question,
state-
that's not the question you
Okay.
asked. You asked her if she
Fine.
has
I will-
any other
Just re-ask the
incident.
question.
I will withdraw the question. We are essentially, we are asking about the main question for the split screen that you were testifying about. Do you have any other witnesses or evidence other than your testimony in those two videos?
I have it too. Nope.
Thank you.
But for the record, I would like,
There's no question before you.
I don't, I'm gonna,
Mary? Mary,
You gotta wait till there's a
wait
question.
till there's a question.
Now, is it possible that London got the tablet from somebody else, somebody at school?
In our objection speculations, you said she didn't know who gave her the tablet.
Okay, you can just.
That's why we asked, is it possible, criminal out?
yeah, sure.
So you have no direct evidence or any evidence whatsoever that that tablet was provided by my client or anybody else, correct?
Correct.
Nothing further.
No follow-up, Karen.
Thank you, Mary. You can stay there.
Mary?
Who else?
Your Honor, the state's other witness today is Donna Wilburn.
Come on, ma'am. Once you get up there, please remain standing, raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give me is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
It's Donna Wilburn, DONNA, WILBURN.
Good morning, Ms. Wilburn. How are you employed?
I am a licensed marriage and family therapist in private practice.
And what is your educational background?
I have a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in marriage and family therapy, and I'm in a doctoral program for child and adolescent behavior.
In addition to your private practice, do you also work with the court system?
I do.
Can you describe that?
I am what's called an outsourced provider for family courts. I meet criteria to provide forensic services, evaluations, therapy, assessments, reports, things like that.
So based on that, are you appointed by the court to act as a therapist for particular minor children?
Yes, I'm appointed by the court for various reasons, to be a therapist for children, family therapist, parent coach, brief focused evaluations, child interviews, things like that.
And at some point, were you appointed to be the therapist for a minor child named London Hammer?
Yes.
When was that?
I don't recall the exact date. There's a court order appointing me, I think it's about a year ago.
So that would be November, December of 2018?
I believe so.
Okay. And what was the reason for your appointment?
I believe the guardian ad litem thought there was a need for the child to be treated by a therapist due to what she had been experiencing.
Okay. And prior to your appointment, are you given specific information regarding the situation for the family dynamic?
Yes, whatever information they want to share with me, they can share with me, so court orders or the history of the case has all been shared with me.
Can you describe London's demeanor when you first came in contact with her?
She was very emotionally distraught. She had recently come from out of state and she did not have any time with Julie, so she was very upset. I believe she had come to see me just really soon after she returned to Nevada. So she was pretty emotionally unstable, a lot of anxiety, depression, just really having a hard time.
And approximately how many times have you had sessions with London over the last year?
I see her, I would say, about once every 2 weeks. And then lately, because she's been more emotionally stable, about once a month.
And how would you say London has progressed in her emotional state over the last year?
I think she's progressed very well. She now has a medication prescriber and she's consistent. Her school grades are really good. She reports that her relationship with Murphy is good. And all those things are like really, really good progress.
In the last 30 to 45 days, have you noticed any change with London?
Well, I have had her come in more recently after this event. And she's, I would say, a bit depressed. She has a hard time when she doesn't have a lot going on, so she's having a hard time right now, not thinking of sad things, I would say.
So there's concerns that perhaps her depression is resurfacing more?
I would say it's...
I'm objecting to her leaving her witness. Can she just ask the questions and let the doctor or the witness testify?
So the objection is leading, the objection is sustained, you have to go on and testify.
Can you describe specifically how London's demeanor has been over the last 30 days?
So, positive thoughts to negative thoughts is one way we assess how she's doing. Optimistic thought process, content and happy with her life. It took her a long time to get even moderately content and happy and positive. And over, I'd say, the past couple of weeks, that her negative thought process is a bit more prominent. Her sad feelings are a bit more prominent than they were in the past few months.
In your opinion, do you believe that was because of an event that occurred that caused her to kind of have these feelings?
Objection.
I'm asking for opinion.
Yeah, but you're suggesting the answer to it. Ask it a different way.
In your opinion, how do you feel, in your opinion, how has London, let me lay some more foundation. When did you see London last?
Gosh, last week, I think.
Do you recall the exact date?
Can I, I don't memorize, my calendar's full, so I
Okay.
know it's recently, I just saw her.
Did you prepare, at my request, did you prepare a report or a letter documenting that communication with London?
I shared some information regarding what we were communicating about.
Okay. If you saw that, would that refresh your recollection as to the date that you saw London?
Yes, it might have the session date on it.
Okay. Judge, may I approach?
Yep.
Okay. Session date. So the session, and it dates the session, was December 1st. And this letter is on December 8th.
And what were your impressions of London when speaking to her on December 1st of 2019?
Just that her negative feelings and thoughts were a bit more prominent than they were a few months previous to that, for the past few months.
Did you get into any discussions as to why that might be?
Of course. That's my job.
Did
Her feelings.
Did London disclose anything to you?
Yes, she did. She did talk about not having her computer, or, I don't interrogate, so I recognize when she does not want to specifically report certain things. So I respect that, and I don't force the issue, but she seemed more sad because she does not really have access or contact. She did report she does enjoy talking to her mom and grandma. I do have to say that. She does enjoy it. It makes her happy.
But in reviewing this report, did you also review other court orders in the domestic proceedings?
Well, I did want to review the order or the minutes appointing me to end the no contact rule, so that I was, accurate on that, and I did review that.
Based on your discussions with London, did it appear that she did have contact with Julie, the defendant?
Based on my observation.
It calls for a conclusion, but unless there was an admission by London, I'm not quite sure it clears the question. Is she asking, did London tell you this, or is she asking, what do you think?
Did you ask, I can just rephrase, did you ask London specific questions about a potential contact between her and Julie?
I did.
And do you recall what specific questions you asked her?
I asked her if I asked her how Murphy handled the day that she caught her on the computer. I asked her that.
And what was her response?
Her response was that Murphy did well and didn't get too upset or anything about it, and that she handed over her computer.
And based on her response, did that lead you to believe that there was contact between Julie and London?
Based on her response, she was confirming the event occurred, and that I also said, I saw the video, and she confirmed that that was her on the video, and we talked about who she was talking to, and she didn't say, I was talking to this person. She just said, yeah. She would just say, yeah, yes, it's sad, yes. She's a bit more sad right now.
Do you think, is that uncommon for her to not want to specifically name the defendant?
It is not uncommon.
Why is that?
She's been triangulated into this parent conflict for years and years. She is very aware of court proceedings and court involvement, and she, of course, does not want to incriminate her parents.
What concerns do you have regarding this communication between the defendant and London?
So my role with her is to help her recover from the years of extreme triangulation into this really high conflict situation.
Can I stop you for 1 second? Can you explain triangulation?
Triangulation is when one or both parents involve the child in the conflict. They share their perspective of the other parent. They may talk negative about the other parent. They portray the other parent as scary or bad. It damages the child's relationship with parents. The child gets very anxious and stressed. The child feels they have to, it's called a loyalty bind. When I'm with one parent, I have to be against the other parent. When I'm with that parent, I have to be against the other parent. So it's really, really stressful. There's a lot of long-term effects of that. Suicide risk is high, depression is high, addiction is high, things like that. There's a lot of research about it. So London has been triangulated into this conflict for many, many years, and that my role is to help her recover and get healthy. So my concern is that based on this past event, it was an example of triangulation where she was, and she does confirm, she was talking to her mom and grandma. Murphy wasn't there. It was against Murphy's parent rules. She knows it's against the no contact order. She does know there's a no contact order, but she knows it doesn't pertain to her. It pertains to adults. I'm trying to keep her out of the court drama. And she was placed in a position again to be disloyal to a parent. And that's really concerning to me as her therapist. I'm trying to help her recover from that, not continue the manipulation. Is considered psychological abuse.
No, I have no further questions for this witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, are you familiar with Ms. Hammer, or do you only have contact with Ms. Rasmussen?
No, I've met Ms. Hammer, we've met a couple of times
Okay.
before I was appointed.
And do you discuss London's status with Ms. Hammer as well?
I don't report anything or reach out. If she wants to reach out to me, I'll be glad to share.
Okay, so you really don't have much contact with Ms. Hammer?
Not for a long time, no.
Now, this session, what day of the week do you see London?
It varies. It's not a particular specific day.
Is it weekdays or what?
I work Sunday through Thursday.
Okay.
I'm off on Fridays and Saturdays. I try to be off on Fridays and Saturdays.
All right, so you speak to London about this, speaking on the computer, correct?
I speak to London about her feelings.
No, I'm talking about this incident now. I'm not talking about her global treatment.
Okay.
Okay? So you, in this snippet that you get out in your letter, okay, is that's when you asked London about this alleged incident with the computer and the slip screen?
I don't know what you're saying. I didn't ask London about the specific incident. I'm asking about her feelings.
Okay, well,
related to the incident.
when you discuss this, however you want to phrase it now, when the topic of the split screen and the computer came up between you and London,
Yes.
she did not tell you she spoke to her mother.
She
correct?
did not. No, she
Okay.
did not. She
She
just
did
said,
tell you she spoke to her grandmother, correct?
no, she just said, yeah. That's what she says, yeah.
Okay. So, but you were talking about both people, correct?
Correct.
And from your notes, and a lot of it, you're not specific about who you're asking about, correct?
Correct.
So she could take your questions as applying to either the mother or the grandmother?
No. She,
In
obviously,
this-
those are little bits of information, right? Those snippets are out of context. It was an hour-long session, so
Okay.
she, I don't know how you guys are gonna do this, but like, in context, it's clear that I'm talking about both mom and grandma.
Okay, so what you're saying is, what you actually submitted is taken out of context,
Absolutely.
okay? And so this does not really, shall we say, carry the flavor of the conversation between you and London?
No.
Okay, and in order to do that, we'd have to review the whole conversation?
Well, I don't know, I guess the flavor, I guess.
Well,
That's what you're
from what
talking
you're,
about.
I'm sorry, I don't need to
In
anyway.
context, to get the understanding and the implications, then I guess that would be more evident in the whole session, yes.
Okay. So, basically, kind of what you just testified, per what you're saying now, is taken out of context.
What I testified is in context, the paper is out of context, the letter's out of context.
So other than your professional assessment of what she said, essentially, well, if she said this, it must be in fact X, did she state, I've spoken to my mother? Did she have any recordings of her mother? Anything like that? Did she say, my mom gave me a tablet? Anything like that?
No. Like I said, she does not want to incriminate her mother.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I'm asking you, did she make any affirmative statements about this incident? Either saying, I did or did not speak with any of the individuals in question?
Her affirmative statements on multiple times was, yeah.
Okay. And
That
that's,
was as affirmative as she got.
all right, so, basically, it's your impression from the conversation that she had contact with her mother?
Yes.
She didn't say that?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Anything else?
Judge, just briefly, did you hand type the report?
I did.
And you specifically typed out the session from the recording of the conversation between you and London, correct?
Correct.
And you keep referring to this word, yeah, right?
Correct.
If I approached and showed you, would seeing the specific context of that conversation, would that better help explain the context that you were referring to?
can, I remember the context of it, if
Well,
you're trying
prior-
to refer to something in particular.
Prior to you asking her how Murphy handled it, did you specifically reference the defendant?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall what you specifically asked London?
It was specifically regarding the video of London talking to her mom and her grandma. And I specifically referenced that I saw the video of London talking to, or I heard the video of London talking to her mom and her grandma.
And did you, was there a particular emotion that London had expressed during that video that you were referring to?
Yes.
And what was that?
That she seemed really happy,
And happy to be what?
talking to her mom and her grandma.
And in response to that, what did she say?
Whoa, stop. I'm gonna object to that. Actually, it calls for a conclusion from the witness. She said she's happy. She doesn't know why.
I asked her why, or I
Yeah.
referred to why.
And in response to that, what did she say?
So, in context, it was like, that must have raped me, you must have been really happy to be talking, actually, I believe I said to your mom, because that's the number one contact that she wants, and she said, yeah.
Nothing further.
Anything else?
Just one question based on the redirect. Did you actually listen to this video?
I did,
Okay, and the ones we just listened to here in court?
yes.
Okay, and you're saying that you recognized Miss Emery was?
I would have to listen again.
It's a yes or no question.
I wasn't even listening
Okay.
really for that myself.
So you can't say that you heard Miss Hammer's voice
No.
on that. Thank you, nothing further.
All right, you step down, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, I know you wanna have somebody else testify, do you wanna do that next week?
I will set it up. The only problem I have is getting Officer Crundon's schedule. We contacted him. We finally spoke to him yesterday. He kind of asked for dates. I was trying to get that set up, so I basically had it in hand when I walked into court this morning, but we couldn't get him back on the phone. I don't know if the court wants to, I can certainly,
You wanna tentatively set it up for maybe Thursday, next Thursday at 10:30, and
I will be here, the court knows the state's concerns, so I'll be here whenever the court will make it.
if it's 19th, I can make it then, Your Honor. My only concern, and I will essentially work that nonstop until I know for sure, is Officer Crundon's availability.
Well, this court has Tuesday and Thursday next week, correct?
Right.
The 17th I can't do, the 19th I can. That's the Thursday.
It's fine, Thursday, 19th at 10:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Try to make them available.
I will move Captain Hart.
I'll let you guys argue once I hear that week.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. Off the record. Can I ask you guys a question while we're off the record?
Yeah.
Is there a reason that this is in front of me instead of the family court judge that imposed the order to begin with?
Because there's a no contact violation in there's no contact order in the criminal case, which is why I brought it